Day, of course, continuing on with the round of four action. We got the top four teams competing against one another. Two teams from each group qualifying here for these playoffs, and thus competing for $14 more thousand dollars on the line every single series. Money being on the line. With that said, we got our second round of four matchup taking place here today. Sync Esports versus Druids, formerly known as Fresh. Going to be going at it here in a best of five. Really excited for today to see who advances on to play what is going to be Reason Gaming in the winter bracket finals. They defeated Complexity Gaming 3-2 in their series, and what definitely proved to be a very great series yesterday, a longer one at that, but hey, it was a good series indeed, and definitely would be excited to get something similar here today, and most certainly that is possible. With that said, I am joined by my co-casters today, the same as yesterday. One and always Newey. How's it going, man?
It's doing real good. You know, there are two type of teams. There are those who try to reach and those who try to surpass. And right now, I feel like these two teams, Sync Esports and Druids, are interested in nothing else than to surpass each other. They are looking for that number one Deadeye Bounty League spot, nothing else. So yeah, really excited seeing as the series yesterday went into a best of five. I think we can expect something similar from this one.
Yeah, would not be surprised. Most certainly. I mean, obviously. Now, again, the one wild card here is it is Druids to an extent. And now, I say that because they qualified first for DreamHack qualifiers, and obviously that means something definitely. But it's been a while. It has been a little bit since they played. They did also get a forfeit victory over Team Disband in the group stages. So on top of that, I mean, as far as tournament play goes, they haven't really been playing a whole lot as of late. You know, not that it's their fault, it's just simply that's been the case. So I think a lot of people, including ourselves here, we're intrigued to see what kind of Druids team we see being brought here against, obviously, a very formidable opponent in Sync Esports. So, yeah, Quincy pointing out right there, it's been a month. It's been a full month since they have actually played a tournament match. I'm sure they've been scrimmaging and everything, but you got to think that that's going to have somewhat of an effect, no doubt. But again, I mean, what do you expect? Do you expect it to be coming out full force, or maybe a little bit clinky early on?
I actually spoke a little bit with ProBaskin before the game, wanted to hear his opinion on all this kind of like inactive phase that they have been having, and he said like, yeah, I think it hurt us a little bit to actually qualify first. Might sound a little bit might sound wrong,
Yeah.
but it's like he said. I mean, they more or less missed out on 5 DreamHack qualifiers just because of it. And even though they have been looking for scrims, it's been a little bit difficult to find them because most of the teams have been busy with the DreamHack qualifiers, so they haven't had the best of scrim opponents to work with. So they're more or less stated that they want to play the first game a little bit more casual, like see what Sync Esports prioritize in terms of draft, and just play their own game. And then maybe when they got like the whole communication going and all that kind of stuff, they want to like try new things when it comes to game number 2, game number 3, and so on.
Yeah.
So they're just gonna play their own game for game number 1 at least, and to get back into things.
Kind of get back into that groove once again. All right, so, well, it obviously starts with the draft, so let's get into it here. Midas, Warbeast, Flux, and Moira, the bands. It's definitely, again, it's always interesting to see the ban-worthy heroes in matchup-specific cases, and, you know, heroes like Flux, for example, we were talking about yesterday, too. I mean, this is a hero that's really been gaining so much steam on the competitive scene as a whole. Just consider just ultimately a good laner. You don't need that wombo combo potential necessarily, just a great hero all throughout the game. For many purposes. So banned out here, we had Puppet Master into Magnus, Ophelia into Rhapsody, and Kraken into Clanks coming out here on the side of Druid. So what do you think of these lineups so far? Here's Nui.
Interesting. We saw Kraken being a 5th pick in Team Who versus Team Disband, and I gave it a lot of praise there because I felt like this is the kind of hero that's more or less just gone extinct to an extent. But Sync actually showing that this hero might have some promise picking up in that 3rd slot, and I assume it's going to be Mickey in the mid. You don't normally want the Kraken as a suicide anymore because of his his weak laning presence, so to say.
But they get Prisoner.
Okay, so it is a suicide Kraken. I'm not sure about that one. Rhapsody is usually one of those heroes, or one of the sports heroes that are like the worst to go versus as a melee carry or versus as a melee suicide, simply because of the high armor that she has and a long attack range as well with the staccato. You can easily time that staccato to just mess with Kraken's slow auto attack.
Yeah.
The early levels. But seeing as they got a Magnus, the Rhapsody, and the Clanks, this kind of tells me that Druids might be looking to go for an offensive tri lane. because
Okay.
that's something that they usually do in scrims when they have the clanks. Even though it might sound a little bit odd to go for an offensive trialing with a clanks, which is one of those like hardest carries in the game, that's usually something that they tend to do. No, they do have Ophelia and Puppet Master at the Legion side, so it's still a little bit tricky. They need to make sure that they block the hard camp for Ophelia in case they do so.
Well, what I was going to think, you mentioned it on the side of Drews, but what about even Sync? You're talking about the idea of him Susa Kraken maybe not as strong. Could they possibly go for some kind of pseudo trial? And you think somewhat aggressive with that Ophelia even, or would that be too risky?
They picked up the Behemoth now, so I think that Kraken would do very well in a 1 versus 1 situation versus that hero, so it could be likely. Insania is one of those a little bit more loose drafters as well, that like just goes with the flow. He doesn't have anything prepared necessarily, he just waits for his opponents to draft and then he adapts to that. So very likely now when they picked up a Suicide Behemoth.
All right, we'll see if that is of potential here, Nat. But about a minute now remaining for Sync Esports to decide on what would be their fifth and final pick here. You figure probably a support option is what we're going to be seeing here, unless they want to do some kind of crazy Puppet Master support, which isn't out of the question by any means, but yeah, not the usual at the same time. So I'm assuming some kind of just hard support option here. I mean, you still got plenty of options. The Empath, the Torturer, coming to mind here as Artesia, of course, being insane. No, probably not going to see Artesia.
What?
That's probably not going to be happening. We did see it in the Tuesday series, but that was quite the entertaining game there. Yeah, so has a plethora of options. Just wants to make sure he's comfortable with it.
Usually, Prisoner goes very well with Ophelia because he can come in for early ganks, and oh my god, we see the Thunderbringer. Support as well.
Really?
I would assume so.
What?
No, Mickey. Okay.
Well, again, they're still swapping it up, but prisoner support? Like, yeah, they're going to keep us guessing until they actually pick here on the side of Drew. But what on earth? Is it actually going to be even a support puppet, possibly?
I can see the synergy. Just not. I mean, they have strong lanes already with the Puppet Master and Ophelia more or less securing or like stopping druids from going for an offensive man-up. And then they have the Thunderbringer to cancel the pull case for Magnus and Behemoth in the mid-game.
We saw the strength of Thunderbringer yesterday, by the way. For those that may have missed out on it, I was actually showing the highlights going into the stream right here of yesterday's series. But again, Game 5, Complexity versus Reason. Reason actually drafted it, and they ran it as a middle Thunderbringer. And yeah, it was actually really interesting to see. Again, throughout the game, that Lightning Storm constantly used for vision. I'm sure it was very annoying to deal with, and obviously he was able to deal plenty of damage in the fights on top of that. So Insania is going to be readying up on it right here. It looks like, did they actually get the swap in time? I think they might have. Okay. I think they're good. Anyways, so Insania on Thunder, but a support Thunderbringer. A support Thunderbringer here. That's what? Why? I guess. I mean,
it has to do with the portal keys.
So it's just really that? Okay.
I would assume so. I don't really have anything else that comes to mind.
He could be a decent counter warder. I mean, that's true.
That is a good point to make. Yes, he with that Blast of Lightning, his second ability, he can indeed do very well. Pick up a Bound Eye on top of that, and you can get complete map control.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's going to be a little bit risky. I feel, seeing as I feel like Druids have the opportunity or the potential to go for an offensive lineup as well, and if they were to go versus a Thunderbringer, then there's not too much he can do to help the Puppet Master, for example, if Puppet Master were to be stunned.
That's I think the biggest issue right here. It's kind of like when they did jokingly said the Artesia. They did run the Artesia. It was on Tuesday, and it ultimately wasn't a winning effort, but a lot of other things kind of came together in that game. But it was it was struggling early on. And a bigger reason for that, you kind of figure that it doesn't bring any stun. It's no kind of crowd control whatsoever. He's just pure damage, basically, and which can be good, especially later on in the game. But early on, it seems like it's it's not necessarily the strongest. And honestly, even scaling throughout the game, the fact that he doesn't bring any kind of crowd control ability, it is a little question. You think every other support they have some kind of CC, but Thunderbringer has nothing, literally nothing. He's all about the nukes. Right here, so.
And like they had a Prisoner as well with Ophelia, and usually that's like such a good setup for the early laning phase, because all you need to do is more or less land a hook and then you got yourself a kill if Ophelia comes in for a gank. But now they got a Thunderbringer, so they really don't have anything that to set up that prisoner hook. If they would have had a Glacius and a Luna, even something just with that one stun, it's easy to get a hook in, and then Ophelia comes in for the killing blow. But now they got a Thunderbringer. I'm not quite sure where they're looking to run him. If they're
Yeah.
looking to babysit this Puppet Master. But if it is a suicide behemoth, then Puppet Master alone would be more than enough, because Puppet Master is one of the best 1 versus 1 heroes in this game. And yeah, it doesn't make too much sense to me, but well, Insane, I usually have a plan.
Yeah, it's safe to say, and again, for those that like this is a pretty legit event here. This isn't something that they're just going to be, casually just wanting to have fun with. Ultimately, I mean, again, there's good money on the line here. It's very safe to say. It's $1,500 if you win this series right here alone. I mean, you just get $1,500 cash right there, on top of more money to be made. Obviously, the better you do throughout the event. So. Good money on the line just for this series alone throughout this whole tournament here in the playoffs, and it's safe to say that both these teams competing for that reason. So it's using the logic that, they're just having fun with it, not really taking it seriously. I don't think that's the case. There definitely is something here. It's just what it really is. I think you definitely had something with the portal key idea. They really value that perhaps, but also, again, the counter-warding aspect. I mean, you like to stress, especially Bound Eye, how important that is. In games, and when the team refuses to pick it up, it's just like, what are they thinking? So you figure a hero that inherently has the ability to constantly counterward himself is actually something pretty damn powerful with that logic right there. So I think perhaps even that has a lot to do with it, ultimately, with the Thunderbringer pickup. But
The downside with it is that I don't think you got enough time to actually counterward on your own. You need
no,
to
you
get at least
don't.
2 people, otherwise you're going to have to use 2 Blessed Lightnings. And as a support, your mana pool is going to be significantly lower than if you were in the mid uh, role, for example. So that's going to be a little bit
That's
tricky.
true.
You don't want to expose yourself either to the enemy team who has like heroes like Magus, Behemoth, and then a Shipper to follow up with all those long range rockets. So yeah, still gonna have to wait and see what this turns out to. Slav, by the way, going for Marchers. I'm not sure if that's something that he does every single game, or if he's actually expecting that offensive tri-lane from Druids.
I think it has a lot to do with that. Yeah, I wouldn't say he does it every game by any means, but if he's expecting pressure, then Boots, of course, good for that. So, all right, it looks like, oh boy,
Oh
apparently
man.
they're gonna have to remake here. Okay, gonna have to go remake. It's flashbacks to yesterday here coming out. Okay, so we'll eventually get this game number 1 started here. Initially having a swap issue, and then apparently the server's a little iffy for them, but yeah, it's coming though. Sure enough, it was Insania. I was also going to clarify that as well, whether or not that was them kind of figuring that they were going to remake anyway, so they just rated up on whatever. But no, Insania is going to be playing the Thunderbringer, so nothing out of or nothing changing up there even in the end. But yeah, again, that does mean Kraken going to be played by Keizu, and so you were talking about that idea that may not necessarily, but really, we're going to have to wait to see how the lane's set up, right? Because even with us knowing the lineups now and everything, it's still pretty undetermined as far as what we're going to be seeing here by both these sides. So
I think it comes down to what Druids chooses to do, if they go for the offensive mana up, or if they're just going to run with a Suicider. Because I would personally think that it would be it's so tough to say. Now when they got a Thunderbringer, it's not really optimal for Sync to be up versus an offensive tri-lane at the same point. But I don't think that Kraken would do very well versus a Clanks plus a Rhapsody if Kisu were to be in the Suicide lane.
all right, gosh, just trying to make sure we get our guy in here. Let's see. All right, so want to make sure he joins here. We get all our people in here. They were just about to go quickly without all of us actually being in the lobby here. Then we should be good to go. So just need to make sure that join. Oh, one sec. 991.
What's his numbers? Yeah, that's a good one.
No. Need to get him invited here. Okay, once he's sitting, we'll be good to go. All right. So, hopefully we got a good server here and everything, and we're going to be good to start now. what is game number 1. Both teams are using their A roster as well, and that's always good to see, of course. Druids here. I almost have to remind yourself, that's right, crack a part of the Druids here. Again, it's been so long, but a month here, and since we have seen them playing in a tournament game, so. Yep, Krake found a new home here.
And I clicked.
Gosh.
These guys, I'm so done. Oh my god.
We will get this to work. This will work, I promise. We will play Han eventually. We'll get to see some Han. Once we get it going, it seems like kind of like yesterday too. Once it got going, I mean, it was overall pretty good, but for whatever reason, just had a tough start. So something about these playoffs here.
What are they doing now, or what?
I mean, they have to remain. There's no choice. So.
Yeah, but they're reconnecting. Now they're disconnecting again. What?
They're just confused.
Okay.
Rather than wait through the whole draft, I think they just wanted to leave and then make a new game. But yeah, people are confused here. Okay, so let's wait for a new game here to pop up. And you know what we're gonna do? This is just one of those awkward times here. Let's just go on a quick break. I'm gonna play some music here. Let's go on a quick break. We'll come back when they're actually ready to play here. So guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right. We're good.
We are back in business.
We are good. We're playing some freaking on. We're back. All right. It looks like we finally have it come all together. All the stars align and everything's good to go.
Oh my god, Insania. This is shaping up to be
here?
some early kills.
Oh boy, yeah. Kraken, no, he should be fine. Obviously, he can get charged if necessary, but yeah. They should be good now. Now that they spotted him, should be safe. But, yeah, Druid's going to make a point to obviously block some camps right here. But, by the way, the chipper pick, we didn't even mention that coming out here. Crack a final pick, chipper coming out as far as finishing off the draft for Druid. So, getting some nice added burst there. And some
yep,
more
and it's actually
potential.
Cracky playing in this time, so that means that they in Druids got 3 players that play Chipper more than well. Sibbe, Probask, and Cracky. All of them I've seen on the Chipper in competitive games.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little thing to have in mind, that he can always be in every single position.
Yeah. So the lanes. Okay, so we're getting an idea here. It is going to be an aggressive suit, or more so an aggressive tri-lane from Druids. As you're pointing out, yeah, Clanks, it seems a little funky, you know, seeing that he's more of just a hard carry, hard farming hero you usually want. But, you know, we did see a lot yesterday with Reason Gaming that Imba Boy was constantly in the aggressive lane. I mean, Corrupted Disciple, multiple games, held the Valkyrie, of course, and it worked out for the most part in that series. So, you know, is this becoming a trend, you think? Is this something that is going to start becoming more and more of a popular thing, this whole aggressive carry lane here?
A little bit. I've always rated offensive tri-lanes really high, but and Iceland Gogo is actually doing what I have missed so much from previous series. from yesterday, pulling the creep wave so that they don't get any experience whatsoever on Puppet Monster and Thunderbringer. I love to see this. I feel like this is something that you should definitely try to prioritize when you run these kind of offensive tri lanes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is going to be a little bit more of a trend because I think teams realize that usually you pick quite greedy. Like in this case, they picked a Thunderbringer support, and I mean that's just ridiculous when it comes to greed. And usually like you got it to shape it up as well because Druids had the potential to go for a safe lane Clanks as well. So Sync doesn't know for a fact that it's going to be an offensive tri-lane before they see the laning phase itself. So as long as Druids can like pick strong 1v1 heroes like Behemoth and Magnus here, or Shipper, then they got an upper hand at the safe lane as well. Shipper is definitely going to have the upper hand versus Kraken, so in a sense they win 2 games, or 2 lanes.
Yeah, well, so especially in situations like this, it really is going to come down to the solo, right? I mean, Prisoner especially, like Mickey, they're going to be really relying on Mickey to have a fantastic start here, and we have seen that many of times before, to be fair, and Sync has definitely relied on that in the past, so it's not out of the question by any means. But yeah, having him a very impactful start, being able to get the early on portal key, I'm sure, start roaming around, helping to set up kills.
Yeah, look at him mid.
As actually, yeah, he's going to pull in Behemoth right here. Ophelia coming in, applying some nuke damage, but the Vagabond's going to be two out of range here. And ultimately, or maybe not, the boots Ophelia is actually up. A nice block off, though, on the Vagabond. And it's going to be close, but nice stop from Rhapsody as well, man. He was trying to get in range for another auto attack, and that may have done it for Behemoth. So good stop by Serenia right there, and scares off Ophelia in the end. Almost even got a turn kill, in fact, on him right there. But no bloodlust kill is how we will remain here. But yeah, so I mean, is that a safe statement, though? Mickey is going to really control this game for Sync if they want to do well here now.
More or less, yeah. I feel like they need to. I don't think Puppet Monster is going to get too much. I don't know what happened at the bot lane. Oh, actually, Puppet Monster is going to be dived.
Yeah, they're diving in pretty hard right here. Puppet Master, I mean, you look at Thunderbringer, it's like, I'm going to nuke you, and not much else. Magnus, though, will get turned, actually, so the nuke damage ultimately does help set up a turn kill. In fact, Clank also goes down right there, so you know what? I apologize completely. Wow, what a turn right there. Double tap for Insania, and all of a sudden, it's working out for Sync Esports.
That was just greedy from Druids though. I mean, they could have backed off that first kill, but they wanted even more. They went for the Thunderbringer as well. Didn't pay off, and now Insania is like the highest level in the game. He's level 4, and I think he's topping. No, okay, Mick is still topping the experience meter, but still, that's not good news if you're Hellborn. I mean, look at that. If he hits level 5 now on that Thunderbringer, he's like going to take half of the Clank's HP in one blast.
God, yeah, the fact that he's level 4 already, that is crazy. I mean, you're even just stressing out, it's like with them doing the pull and everything, the whole idea that they're going to be less experienced and everything, but, well, that'll happen if you dive, though. I mean, it is a risky play. I mean, sure, you have the numbers and everything, and it can work. You've seen it work many times, but it's risky for that reason. Now, Ophelia kind of toying a little bit, going for that 4-minute rune, but it's only refreshment. Behemoth is able to bottle it up. Bottom rune, it's going to be a race right here, Prisoner. Can he maybe hook Rhapsody? Probably not. Rhapsody will be able to protect it, if anything, pick it up herself. That's what we're going to see right here. Kind of just waiting the last minute as Magnus is running in. And they need Behemoth, who's actually coming over. So this actually could be something right here. Thunderbringer doing what he can to maybe scare them off. He's coming back in. Does have another Blast Lightning on Magnus, perhaps. Prisoner, he's falling. There's a kill chance. Yes, he gets it. Well, Prisoner falls as well. So Thunderbringer gets his third hero kill at least. But obviously taking out Prisoner. Well played there by the Hellborn team. But top lane, Kraken diving. Well, Krake right there. And ultimately gets the kill. So I assume Ophelia, yeah, even got the assist, so helping out right there somewhat. Wow, very action-packed start here in Game 1.
Very, and I think Sync Esports are coming out on top. I don't think this is what Druids wanted at all. They would have wanted Rhapsody and Magnus to roam in between the mid and the bot lane and constantly just pick off the Thunderbringer and Puppet Monster, but now Thunderbringer is already rotated to the mid. He just says like, screw it, Puppet Monster is here as well. They're just giving up on this bot lane. They're saying, okay, we're going to give you free farm on Clanks, we're going to prioritize Kraken and Prisoner instead.
Let the pause coming out here from the Hellborn side, but quick adjustment, but yeah, Clanks, I mean, obviously the downside here is, well, Clank's going to have some free farm, but at the same time, he already really is, so kind of makes sense that they're okay doing this. I still can't get over that Thunderbringer's level 5, though. I mean, it's just absurd. At 5 minutes into the game,
level 6,
a main support Thunderbringer is level 5. That's ridiculous. So, I mean, I guess if this happens, then a support Thunderbringer is arguably one of the best supports to have, right? Because he's going to be nuking people down left and right as your support hero.
Very likely. I mean, that ultimate of her or his is just supreme when it comes to this. Oh, actually, top shipper is putting a lot of pressure onto Kraken. I don't think it's going to be enough. He got a mana battery, which he can use to charge away. No, but like, I mean, all you need is like hit to release the Kraken onto shipper, then follow it up with the Thunderbringer ultimate. You got yourself a kill.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And again, in fact, that knowing that you can do that as a main support, Thunderbringer as top lane. Chipper's in trouble. Thunderbringer is running up to help assist with the kill lead as well. You know what? In fact, he'll get the kill. I mean, you talk about the ultimate, even the Blast Lightning right now, it's 275 magic damage. It's going to be 350 at level 7, but even right now, look at Chipper's life, 739. That's a good chunk of his life right there. Behemoth's getting pulled in, by the way. Prisoner Break comes out, but Magnus and Rhapsody happen to be right next to them, and now Prisoner taking some good return damage. Oh my god, he's still alive. That's pretty crazy in itself. Going to use the shackle on Magnus right there. Is he actually going to escape from this? The tower damage to get the turn kill. Are you kidding me? A double tap for Thunderbringer. However, Prisoner will fall in the end of Behemoth, but the fact they ended up getting the turn kill, that was the ultimate from Thunderbringer coming out. 6-0-0 Thunderbringer. What is happening?
360 gold per minute. That was so well played by Mickey at the same time. I would probably have panicked and kept running towards that upper ramp, but he went into the forest or into the trees instead, getting a shackle off onto the Magnus so that he couldn't finish him off with the lava surge. Waited for Thunderbringer just to hit level 6, and he gets 2 kills with it. That's... Oh my god, this is... Oh, and they're going for Beam of in the mid once again.
Yeah, you see the nuke damage coming out, and one more... Well, it doesn't have the mana, but it doesn't matter. One more auto attack. Ophelia will actually pick it up in the end. So, take it over the middle lane while Mickey's resurrecting, or eventually going to be coming back. Actually headed towards the top lane. They want to kill the Chipper, and they're going to get a kill on a Chipper. The movement here from Sync is just absurd early on in this game. As, yeah, right there. Flensmeister does get picked off in the bottom lane in the meantime. But again, this is really a Sync example. They've done this many times before, you know. Flensmeister, a great carry player, but they don't necessarily rely on him to carry the game a lot of the time because everyone around seems to do so well, including even the support Insania here, and again in this case. So
he's doing best in the game.
Yeah, exactly. He's the lowest GPM on the team. Yeah, their carry happens to be lowest GPM, but they're still in the lead by a good amount. That should tell you something.
What do you guys mean? This was a support Puppet Master and a carry Thunderbringer.
Exactly.
I mean, that was the intention from the start.
Makes a lot of sense. So, okay, but again, the activity's definitely there. Obviously, Thunderbringer, his scaling. Okay, we're talking about that. He has to bring his force feed, Jesus. But Clanks is 350 gold per minute here. He is having a good time as far as farm goes. Do you expect that to have high impact here, or is this going to get out of hand for Sync, you think?
I think this is going to come or get out of hand for Sync if this continues. They are going, Druids are entering the Legion Force. They're looking for some kind of kills. I feel like they are a little bit desperate right now. Seeing as they're going to find Ophelia.
They missed the stun on Ophelia, though. They got the creeps, but missing Ophelia herself, that could cost them. Chipper, he's getting turned on. Prisoner even pulls him in right there. Thunderbringer ultimate use on top of that. Down goes Chipper, down goes Rhapsody, and now Behemoth is on the run. Prisoner has another hook coming up in 5 seconds. Nice wall off, though. Nope, maybe not enough. Eats through the tree, and we're going to see that hook. Will he be able to sidestep it? No, he cannot. It just hits him. Zibbe goes down. A double tap for Insania yet again. We're nearly 400 gold per minute Thunderbringer. I don't even know what to say right now. I'm just in shock, as I'm sure is the Hellborn team.
Oh yeah, it's insane. I don't think the Druids really need to be that offensive though. I mentioned it just before I went into that teamfight that it probably felt desperate, but I mean they're not that far behind. It's scary when the enemy support Thunderbringer is disfarmed, but still, I mean, try to focus on getting your pull keys up, try to get that Clanks farm going. I mean, he is 350 gold per minute, and he is going to be able to carry if it goes towards that like 40 minute mark at least. They don't have the best means to actually break the base here from the Legion side. It is the Ophelia creeps, but Slapped is the lowest level of the team. He's just level 6, so I don't see an Astro coming out too fast. So I still feel like there's hope for the Hellborn team as long as they can get those pull keys up.
That, and again, Clanks, by all means, he can be somewhat useful, especially when he gets that Thunderclaw earlier on in the game as far as team support. So, and yeah, you mentioned the Portakey on Behemoth and Magnus, having both those heroes in itself. Usually we don't see often, so kind of speaking about that too. But if you do get Portakey at least on one or the other, if not even both especially, then most certainly. I mean, there is chances here for Druids, but the way this is just getting out of hand, and again, you think about where this started. This is all because they tried to dive at the bottom tower. This is why we're seeing all of this momentum now. changing. Kraken at the top lane. They're looking to turn it on to Magnus. Kraken, he will survive, gets the turn kill. And Rhapsody also in trouble. Gets charged away. Thunderbringer, though, I'm sure. Yep, going to eventually finish him off. And now Clank's getting some good damage. Trying to kill on Kraken. But at what cost here? Blast Lightning? Yeah, puts the taunt up. He wants to kill. Can he chase him? Yes, he can. He's a champion of Neworth already. Are you kidding me? Behemoth coming in. I don't think expecting him to do too much. 9-0-5 Thunderbringer. Oh my
This
God.
is snowballing out of control. Holy moly.
This is a 15-minute victory. I mean, there's no way it's not. Druids is going to concede that 15.
Oh, the ultimate from Behemoth at least. Are they going to get the champion of Neworth streak?
Oh my God, that's actually decent because he gets a huge bonus now. 560
not too far
just
away
about.
from the Porky now.
Okay, maybe I jumped the gun a little bit right there, but that will stop the streak at least.
Yeah.
So good
Not
news
too
there.
shabby. A little bit of motivation as well for the Hellborn team. We're probably feeling the same way as you, that this might be the time that you just want to look at the clock and wait for the 50-minute mark. But now, Sib actually playing the Behemoth, getting 500 gold plus and almost got in the Polky. No, actually, he goes for Steam buff before. I would have preferred him just rushing the Polky, but alright.
You know, so again, Thunderbringer is obviously the focus here, but of course Kraken already with the Portuguese. Speaking of that, Mickey, he is starting to get closer and closer to that. Already another 1,500 gold saved up. Ophelia, yeah, the Astrolabe even coming along already. Yeah, you talked about the Steam Boots though on Behemoth. That is kind of interesting, the fact of valuing that over just trying to rush towards that PK ASAP. And try to make something happen, but figures wants to tank up a little bit more, and now we can maybe use it right here. I don't even know if it's going to matter in the end, though. Maybe it will. Actually, Prisoner, he's getting turned on. He eventually falls right there. Good job. Able to turn that, but a nice release. The Kraken gets one, gets two. Chipper's in trouble. The charge, it connects somewhat. Doesn't have enough mana for the most follow-up right here. If he gets a range for an auto attack, maybe. Nope, the Skeleton King, however. Good job by Ophelia, cutting him off. Will it matter? Yes, it will. Kraken Portal Key eventually gets the kill. And Clanks doesn't want to dive too far right here. So he's going to go off to the side. So another double tap, this one in favor of Keizu on the Kraken, who's also now the highest level in the game at level 11. Apparently Insane, yes.
I still can't get over the fact that Insane is still topping the goal per minute,
Yeah.
even though he lost his champion of Neworth streak. He got a Spell Sunder now, by the way.
Already? What the Oh, yeah, okay, that's what I was going to say. And Ring of Sorcery, but no, he split that out. So that makes sense, but still, the fact he's a Spell Sunder this early on in the game. Holy crap. That's going to do
And there we go with the Astro picked up on Ophelia now. I feel like this is more or less, Sync Esports timing. They couldn't just go. There are no pull keys on Magnus or Behemoth so far. So I feel like if they just group up as 5 people with that Astro, they should be able to almost even break the base.
Yeah.
Or at least get all the tier 2 towers.
This is, I will say this too. I mean, no matter how this game ends, even if Druids makes a miraculous comeback, and they would in the end in the long run, but Thunderbringer, this is now going to be back-to-back games. Technically, again, the final game of the last series yesterday, and then first game here of this series, has actually done very well in both of the games. I wonder if this is going to be the start of some kind of trend as well. People are going to be like, wait a second, Thunderbringer is actually kind of good apparently. And even in multiple roles, so that's pretty interesting to see if that kind of picks up steam or not. But
Sync Esports has been playing Thunderbringer from time to time. Actually, they have, even though it might not have necessarily been streamed during season 3. It was usually Mickey playing it by then, so we have seen it a few times, but nothing as of lately.
Yeah. How's Clanks continuing to do? He's still trying to finish that Thunderclaw, so doesn't have that, and just yet, and obviously the Energizer never finished either, so just want to get the Thunderclaw ASAP. But Portal Key is coming up once again for Behemoth, so he's about 1,900 gold right here. He will have it in the near future. You look at the Thunderbringer ultimate right there, so just for scouting, but hey, it does scout Chipper and Rhapsody. They were looking to set up a kill on a Flensmeister, and they have to fall back because of that, so good use right there. As, by the way, even Puppet Master going a Thunderclaw, that's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah. And he's actually going to hit it faster than Clanks, just by split second as well.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, Clanks has really dropped. He was at 350 plus, but now he's down to 313 here, so he needs to recover drastically if Druids are looking to turn this one around. They have the portal key onto Sibin, or onto Sibin now, on that Behemoth, but I'm not sure if they want to display it quite yet. I would personally want to try to get that going into a team fight, like a surprise factor.
Mm-hmm. Chipper pushing out the bottom lane the best he can, but they may dive him right here. Even another one porting in. Looks like Mickey porting in just got his own portal key, so the potential's definitely there. As he's going to use the Veiled Rod to sneak on up, but you can see Druids is picking up on the fact that there's probably something scary about to happen, so don't want to put themselves in a vulnerable spot. They know the Legion side has the several portal keys now, I'm sure, and again, you got the Thunderbringer Thunderstorm on top of that, dealing the 210 magic damage, so if you get jumped, you're very likely going to fall. So this tower going to be heavily pushed, though, in favor of Sync, and that's going to be an easy tower kill in the end. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them keep going, because why not? They got some very strong teams by themselves.
I'm surprised the Druids are not looking to defend this. I don't feel like counter-pushing is the right choice. They're just going to be exposed. I mean, Kraken and Prisoner got portal keys, so yeah, this is about problems.
Right on cue, as you're just talking about now. Kraken takes a good return damage, does get the kill on a Clanks. Will they get the support in time? That's a regen. Rook, can he make an escape with it? Oh my god, he barely stays alive. And Prisoner and Thunderbringer now join the party. Down goes one kill onto a Magnus right there. Chipper's going to be picked off. Another double tap coming out. Thunderstorm used to help get the kill at the top lane. Zibby goes down. And you see Rhapsody all of a sudden the only one alive for the Hellborn team.
Just like that. I feel like they should have really gone for a team fight instead. Oh my god, Mick, yeah.
Why not just dive the base at 16.5 minutes and getting the kill? Yeah, GG, well played. I don't blame them at all. Jeez. Oh boy. Well, game number 1 in the books.
That was
not much else to
a little
say.
bit faster than yesterday's series. There were like where the lowest timed game was like 45 minutes or something.
Yeah.
We got one in 50 minutes here, so yeah, Sync Esports playing out of their minds. Game number 1. That pickup on Thunderbringer. I didn't see the synergy first. I assumed it was because of that whole portal key thingy, as well as when he picks up the Spell Sunder, it even increases the time before you can portal key even further. But it worked out big time, mostly because of Druids overextending a little bit, giving him level 4 at like the minute 3 mark or something. So and I probably regret that decision, but well played by entire Sync Esports squad.
It really is amazing how, again, thinking about that as you're pointing out, it's like, it all goes back to that. The dive, I mean, if it wasn't for Thunderbringer getting a double tap there, being able to scale because of that, you know, getting more damage output as a result of all that, then I highly doubt the game would have gone any close the same way it just did right there. Because, again, that's what set the momentum. It wasn't that Mickey dominated because, you know, he really didn't dominate necessarily. It wasn't that, you know, the top lane did very well. Granted, they were doing decent, but, yeah, it's that decision to try